Good morning, everyone.
Hello, all.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Couple of Kooks. How are you, Pop?
I am doing all right.
Good.
All right.
Good. We got people here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Greg. How are you, sir? Crown. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Greg, what kind of printer are you getting?
Shane. Hello, buddy.
Chat's been cooking for a little bit here, so.
Yeah, they're on a conversation now. I tell you what, couple of sons at it over there.
Yeah. I just want to see what kind of.
Happy anniversary, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Cooters, it's morning. Morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, Moo. Good morning, Jerk. Hard away at it. Working on a Sunday. Appreciate you having us on, buddy. Good morning, Mother. And Greg says he's looking at an Elegoo.
That's a good choice. I got a Saturn 3 that I'm about ready to hand back off to its owner. He loaned it to me for a while. It is a solid printer, and the bed is more square, so you get I feel like you get a better resolution all the way around at all three axes. I love my Max, right? My Max 7, Pro Max 7. I love it. It's an Anycubic. It's amazing once you get it dialed in. The unfortunate thing about Anycubic printers is they can't seem to make a flat bed from the factory. So you end up having to, I've had several, we'll talk about today, several failures in large prints because the middle of the plate just stops connecting. So if you have the means to, throw one on the mill or a mill machine and just knock it off to where it's flat, you probably will get stunning. I get great prints, and I love it just because the bed is so big, but because the bed is long, your Z-axis or your Y-axis comes out you get a little less resolution. So when I'm making parts, I will turn parts different ways the first time I print it to see which way I want to orientate that piece every time I print it. So, but I do love that printer. It's great. It is a good printer. I know I think I got it on sale for like $650, and they have not gone down much in price. In fact, I think they've gone up a little. But you can watch for sale. You can get one for a decent price. And I still don't have like a wash and cure. I still do old school, and I found that this thing I came up with most recently was that I will make an IPA bath in a plastic container, and I just take the parts off of that printer and lay it in there and let it sit for an hour in the IPA. After about an hour, I pull it out of the IPA, put it through a rinse IPA, which sometimes I just squirt, I'll just spray alcohol on it, or sometimes I'll dip it and wipe it off. And when it comes out, that part is like already smooth and not sticky. And it doesn't matter if it's a little gun or some of these pieces I'm going to show later. But man, that method just works. And I can usually wash 20 or 30 large parts before I have to filter that out or change it in the dunk tank. So, but nice. That is just something new that I've kind of perfected in the last few weeks of printing and modeling parts. So I'm just sharing some knowledge there. But yeah, the Saturn line, I mean, they always try to sell you on the Mars, and I just feel like the Saturn line is a good, solid printer. Plus, Hoopat makes a quick snap film setup for it. I think it's $70 or $80. But man, that just, the worst part is changing film. I hate changing film. Getting it right and getting everything to work is so, making sure you have the right, temperance on the plastic and all that. It's just a pain in the ass. But the Hoopat system, it is a little more expensive, but holy cow, it comes with, you order basically a sheet that is pre-stretched on that inner liner. So you just pop it out, pop the new one in, snap it in, and put it in place. And it is, I wish they made one for the Max, but they don't. But it would make it a lot easier, especially, and I found like if you're changing resins, especially going from a opaque resin to a clear, you really need to know that you're completely clean, or your clear will have little cloudy spots you can't explain in it. And so almost every time you either set up a bed that is specifically for clear, which is ideally what I do. But if I'm in like a manic rush, like I don't have time to take 2 hours to change out every screw on that Pro Max thing and not know if I got the tension right and all that, where, it's a lot. And, but the beds for those things, or the vats for the Max, are getting more and more rare. I don't know why. I would think with so many of them in circulation, there'd be a lot easier. I don't know. It's sometimes it's nice for the clear ones if I can get a new one for $60 with the film already on it and just use that one for clear.
Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense to have it. Then it's always ready. Just put it back in the box, back in the bag, in the box, and just set it on the shelf. Like every time I do clear, that's the one I'm going to use. Nice. But I haven't been able to do that for a while. So yeah, you get something like that. That's what I know. Like GI Customs, a lot of these guys are getting some tremendously good resolution out of the newer or the FDM printers. Right, so
Cliff, good morning, sir.
Cliff, hello.
KJ's in the house, getting that Mofex, kid. Absolutely. What's up, buddy? Ray's gonna keep that in mind. Toy Visuals, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Mark's in the house.
Hey, Mark.
Printers. Look at this guy. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Speaking of amazing printers.
It's extra early over there. Good morning, buddy. Kane says, who are you? Where am I? And where are my pants? Doesn't matter, man. Thanks for being here.
Zakanian, you're going to have to figure that out.
Before Friday, probably, because you're probably going to go into public.
Maybe if he's still pantsless on Friday, that can be part of the bracket, maybe.
Well, if ever there was a guest to be pantsless with, it would probably be Quentin Bedwell. He said the thing. He said the thing.
I did.
So we didn't do any custom challenges this time, because Dad and I are approaching show season. And we have one at the end of next month, DFW Joe Show. We're excited about it. We're sponsors. We love Greg. We love supporting his show. So we are dedicating our custom time to stuff for that show. We've got a class. We've got a panel. We're gonna be working. We'll be down there working.
yeah. We got work to do, and also I got to split my time between our booth and the Longbow booth, Skeletron booth, because Skeletron, there won't be somebody from Skeletron there, but Call Sign Longbow will be selling their product. So Troy and I are going to man those two booths, and I'll do the couple of KUKs thing. So
luckily, Greg has kept us all pretty close, so it's not like
he's keeping us all close together
or anything like that. Crusty Old Crow, good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, in local news, Mikey, I found this. Have you seen this?
What the hell is even that?
This is Dr. Pepper. Now, this is a zero because,
Mountain Dew.
I decided in life to fill my body with the chemicals to make it have zero sugar as opposed to just sugar.
Oh.
But this is creamy coconut.
Well, I've heard about that. That does not sound good. Is it all right?
I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to try it right now and see if it deserves
live reaction. Look out.
Yeah, we're going to do this right now.
Sorry, Stu for lunch. Dad's stealing your stick.
Okay, that's decent. I like coconut though, so that is going in the
So the creamy does it have like the cream soda flavor to it?
Yeah, it's got like a little creaminess of cream soda, but that coconut hit, like a
That sounds gay as fuck.
It is gay. And
Mark says it's gross.
let's see what happens when we put it in this. See if it changes this logo.
Oh yeah, just go color change the logo.
Yeah,
on
we'll see. We'll see how terrible the cup says it is. We'll see what it does. Oh,
color changing cups coming soon to couple of.
There it is.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to do that because I bought those yesterday. I didn't want to buy a whole 12 pack because 12 packs are actually just about the same price as a gallon or 2 gallons of gas. So
yeah.
So it's good to know that soda is technically about the same price as gas.
Sure. They'd probably do better just selling it by the gallon too. I mean,
they would.
They would. Just come in with your buckets, and we'll just fill up a 3-gallon bucket with soda.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Why not? Yeah, just bring it in, and just like the water, the water jugs, just go in there and fill it up.
Yeah,
And if you drink enough in a day, that will work. I've noticed that club soda after 2 days, a 2-liter gets like 2.
Well, it would force people to drink it. Like, oh, you got to drink it because it'll go flat.
Yeah.
Then you got to come in and buy more. It's perfect.
Right. You're hoping to get it. Well, we're hoping to sell you one, buddy.
They'll be there.
So DFW, we're going to have the 2 things. We've got our workshop. In that workshop, we're going to be building a stiletto. So we want to talk about the stiletto a little bit?
Why don't you? Let's talk about the stiletto.
Okay. This has been quite a project. But so I had some scaling issues. I was showing Mikey earlier the scaling issues, but I'm going to show you just on screen here the cockpit and how the guy fits inside. There it is.
Huge. It's like it got real devilfish vibes without all the stuff on it.
Yeah, it does.
That's weird.
It really does. But that you see the figure fits in there. I still have to do some cockpit detailing, but my focus this last week was getting this top and this bottom ready so that I could send it out to somebody or a couple of people to build these out of FDM or something similar, the top and bottom, so they're more rigid, and they're just a little big for my printer. They wouldn't be if I didn't have that bed issue that I talked about earlier. Did you see this bottom piece? Maybe this is one that I didn't do the proper print style with, but you can see on this side. You see on this side this warp. The top is fine, but the bottom got all warped up, and then it like literally just didn't print part of the wing. So that's a problem. Obviously, on the printer bed, the bottom is larger because the wings are part of the bottom. Yeah. But yesterday, I was like, or Friday, I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and print a whole set of everything that's done. And so I did, and I will show you guys. I did not get a bottom printed, but let me show you this because I think this is really cool. Here's everything without the bottom on it. I still have some detail work to do on the pieces, but you see that it printed really nice. These are doors. Here I can't touch them, but I'll show you in a minute. Removable panels. So that's kind of what we're looking at there, right? But it is pretty. But what happened was I use Onshape as my 3D program. Thing looked great. but I didn't. It takes a long time to scale every part individually. So I brought it into the printer and I scaled it. And this that you see here in this picture, this is what I got. This thing over here. It looks great. The problem is that when you compare it with the one I showed you earlier, go back to, you compare these together, you see, yeah, the printer's version of the scaling was quite a bit different. So this one is pretty, but it's way too small. But it does allow me to show you guys some of the features here. One thing I will show you is how the canopy works. And this is from somebody that has had to buff out clear canopies, right? I still have detail work to do up here, obviously. But you see this. So this locks into place. And this is separate. So you can polish this. You can polish this separately, nice and easy and all smooth. And then you can paint this separately so you don't have to do lines around it. And then this hole also is what snaps into the body to shut it, okay? And then this is just to hold it in place. And you snap it in. Snap it in place. So, you know, these will be printed in clear. And this will be printed with the other color of whatever the frames are colored. The frames, the tail fin, the nose, and the engine will all be dark gray to match the aesthetic. I redesigned the hinges. The hinges on that plane are ridiculously overcomplicated. They just really need to be able to hinge up. When the cockpit's in place, it has a natural stop to keep this at the right height. I'll show you on the drawing here in a few minutes. Also, I have to, what we'll have here, and I did this very specifically for a reason. The detail that's on the stiletto on the toy, there's a bunch of detail in here and on the bottom, but I am making those snap-in pieces so you don't have to detail those with this. You can detail all those parts inside, outside, and then snap them in place. All right, it just makes, if you've ever had to paint a large vehicle, it is so cool when they put all the details on it, but trying to paint or decal around that is just atrocious.
Yeah, that's a nice feature there.
So again, anywhere that there is massive amounts of detail, I separate it out into a panel. But on Dave's original, on his original styrene model, he didn't have these cutouts, and I really think that looks cool. So you snap these doors in, and you get like a nice smooth starfighter look. So that's why that's like that. That's why there's two little slots there, and then there'll be a little key in here to hold this thing down. Like I say, this was just to get these top and bottom bodies completely finished, and then all the detail work I do after, I can do anytime in the next couple of weeks, as long as I have time to print them. There has to be, you have to like make yourself stop at some point. You have to say like, okay, that's too much, pull it back, let's do this. I've learned that last year was the best lesson of that in my entire life. So this year I am extremely tight about that. I'm extremely tight about knowing my timeline, knowing what has to be done. So like I said, I'll show you in the model how this all works. These are not the correct thruster nozzles, but they do fit this model. They're just not correct. So like I said, I don't have the bottom, but there's a bridge in here, and this goes in after the body's assembled. And I'll show you when we look at the 3D model here in a little bit, I'll show you what it really looks like. This was just a test fit to see that my tolerances were good. It's tricky doing tolerances when you know you're going to scale the model, right? So you think something is a little loose, but then you think like, okay, well, I'm going to scale it down. So their tolerances tighten with that because you scale everything down at a point instead of, and I think that's what, now that I speak it out, that's what happens. in Onshape, in the program, it's mathematics. So if you say, okay, there's one point and every part gets scaled based to that point, it's going to scale that way, right? But if you just throw it on a printer bed and say, hey, scale it up, scale it down, it's going to use the origin of the part to scale it. So I think that might have been something I did wrong. But hey, you live and learn, and I feel like I do plenty of learning.
Such is the life of a 3D printer.
Yes, because you're doing that, and then constantly, your printer's acting like a little bitch, and it doesn't want to make your changes with you, So this is the detail on the engine. On the top, I added these. These will be removable, so if you want the classic look, you can.
Is that a big block Chevy? Is that a?
It almost
it's a 429 Super Cobra jet. Now I can see that.
Right.
I can see that.
So the nose. There's no key on the nose, but it's totally the same all the way around. So it can just go in there, and then the engine itself will have this key on the bottom and the top, and it just slides in. So it also can be put in after the fact. Now there's a lot of detail on the bottom. And then last night I realized something a little heartbreaking that I hadn't really paid attention to. I built this like an engine, and the actual stiletto, this is at an angle like this with the nose. So we'll see what happens. I can always change these out later. Like I said, getting the body done was the big important part. This stuff was all just also on the original model. For some reason, this exhaust manifold is kicked back to where this part goes into the body of the plane. I don't know if I'll do that quite that way. I do want it to look right, so I will probably pull it back a little bit, but it'll just be to shorten the pipes. But yeah, so there's still a lot of things. There needs to be a port here. The port that goes here will be the kind of the Hasbro Robo Skull. Is it 4 or 8 millimeter? I can't remember the size now, but it'll go there. So we were talking about Raging Spoon's complex, like the gun sets that go with those. That gun would fit here, or the cannon that I build for this will fit there. So you got a couple of options that you'll have. But making it that way, that means if you like one of the Skeletron pieces, you could put it on there, one of the cannons or whatever, on whatever the Robo Skull has going on that you like. The Robo Skull has a bunch of places on it to put weapons. So that's how that works. But
nice.
But this was very important. Mikey and I talked about this way early on. Is if you're going to have to sand and polish or sand and clear the clear piece, you need to be able to get to all the pieces and not have to try to sand inside of stuff like this to make a nice smooth piece. And even if you're doing everything, if you were to print this whole thing in FDM or PLA, you still could. And this piece could be, you could have somebody print this on a very small resin printer. You wouldn't have to have a big printer to print these, right?
If you got the stuff, you could make a little vacuum mold and get yourself some clear plastic.
You could. This piece would be very, very easy to do that with. And I was watching a show the other day. I was watching a video of a guy that was scratch building something, and I was thinking, like, my first thought when I saw it was, I was just kind of like, wow, that's rough. And then I thought, you spoiled asshole. Like, like you did this too. Like, this is how you started, was scratch building stuff out of whatever you found around the house.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I was like, you need to check yourself. Which probably wouldn't be bad for any of us that do digital content to remember that. Especially,
you snobby bitch.
Yeah, especially those of us that our origins are rooted in AMT and Revell model kits, or worse yet, Johann car kits. So I saw it, and then I let myself enjoy the video of him like basically taking a few pieces of what you would say household junk and using that for fuselage parts and stuff like that, and making the missiles on a lathe. Yeah, you know, shit, man. Respect, right? But yeah, so I just thought it was funny, and I saw that picture. When I first saw the thumbnail, I was like, "What the shit?" And then I watched the video, and I was like, "Well, that is all scratch built, and there's nothing there." And I've had conversations with people before that was like, "Hey, can you print this for me?" And be like, "Yeah." And then they send me a photograph of the part, and they're like, "Yeah, I just need this printed." Oh, okay. Uh, how big is it? Well, it should fit this. Okay, well, I don't have one of those, so could you help me out here? Oh, well, they make resin ones. I just don't want to buy one. Understood. That's the beauty of 3D printing, but there has to be a file. Well, you could just put that together. Sure. Just to, clarify, this stiletto has around 150 hours in it. That's how much time it takes. I have the original model. All right. I have the blueprint image, which anybody, I'm sure Mark can attain to this, but anybody that has tried to really use the blueprints as a guide to make a 1/18 scale vehicle, WTF, man. I don't know. I really don't. Things don't match up. The top to the side view, you can't even line the pieces up, when you're trying to figure it out. So
it's a blueprint, not a CAD drawing. That's not what that's.
Yeah, it's just a flashy blueprint, but that's weird to me, because if you're going to put the effort in, to do that, then go ahead and do it. It's all right.
I mean, and they must have had it, like they must have had that to create the molds and stuff, like, right? I mean, like it had you done, but they were like, they'll never understand this. Just make it a fun picture.
Right. But that's okay. That's okay. I've really tried with this thing to make it as accurate as possible. I did take some liberties with some dimensional aspects of it, but let me show you guys the model. All right, and I'll show you some of how things work on this thing, and we'll just take a look at it. We'll just take a look.
Just take a look. Just look at it.
Just look at it. All right. Here's on shape. So you see, it is nice and pretty. So here's the bottom. Again, you see, I still need to detail this thing out. This will have an insert, like the original, but you see, this is one of my connectors to join the hull and the deck together. They use this connector, and you don't see it, and it won't affect anything, but it will help you glue this thing together and center it on the part.
Nice.
So this still needs, I'm going to, instead of, there's a reason I'm going to do this, but here you see the details on the thrusters, so they're also landing pads. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I will also, out of clear, make a piece that snaps along this line right here with a jet thrust details in it that you could detail out, paint it, or you could just put a wash on it. And if you wanted to run lights, I tried to do everything in this. If you want to run LED lights, there is a place to run the wires.
That's cool.
So this thing, let's hide the tail fin. And so in here, there will be, I don't know what there's going to be for the DFW version of this thing, but for the Starfighter version, because Sci-Fi does have gear, I want a spot to put gear. But I made this separate. On the original toy, this is molded in, but I made this separate because to insert these two parts, you need to have a little bit of squeeze to get these pegs to line up. But then once you put this piece in, it locks it all together. So up here, So it locks back. That'll lock that back there. The cockpit to the body locks it up here. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Same here. This will have a cutout in it that is the shape of a clear instrument panel. And if you want to put a light back here, you can. Or you can just paint the instrument panel black and do whatever you want with it. But this way you could paint everything but the gauges black, and the gauges will show through clear. So if you want to put a piece of plastic back there with a LED or just an LED back there, you can. And there is room to run everything.
Very cool.
So I wanted to be sure that this and the thrusters would be able to be lit up with somebody that likes doing that sort of thing. These are actually little discs that plug into a hole. That way, if we do one, maybe you could do this, or you could have just a plain one. But yeah, so it's got this little indentation, and that keeps you don't have to sit there and try to line it up, right? Once you get it
nice.
Once you get it lined up, it snaps in the same spot. The other side is a mirror image, but so you have that, and then you will also get in the kit, obviously. You'll get just a disc that goes in there. So you're going to put a different decal. The Star Brigade decal for the Starfighter is very complicated. It would not lend itself very well to, raising the surface. But I am going to do one that just has a star on it, and that way you could do a blue star for US, or you could make it all black and make you Russian one with a red star. Yeah, the star, I like a star and a cobra.
Kind of give you got a Skeletron logo. That'd be pretty cool right there.
I may do that, but I won't. I will not offer it. Okay, I will not offer it for sale. If I have them, I may give some out. But yeah, I gotta be careful with that, guys, because I'm involved, in the Skeletron product cycle, and so I try to be very respectful of that. But Mikey is right. A proper modern Skeletron logo would look really good on that.
It really would.
And
not for profit, obviously.
Yeah, just as a little bonus. Property. The nice thing is, the way I've designed these is you be able to pop these in and out. So if you wanted to, go from Iron Grenadier, if you want to do an all black one, do an Iron Grenadier.
An IG one would be fucking slick as hell.
I've seen several customs of Iron Grenadier stilettos, and I'm still convinced that this originally was going to be an Iron Grenadier vehicle. The Star Viper is easily colors.
Yep.
And we've talked about that a few times on here.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the deal. Let me show you how I'm going to say hull and deck because I'm a boat guy, but so these line up with pegs on the bottom of the top, the hull or the deck, so that this thing places perfectly every time. Hide the cockpit, and we'll hide this door. All right, so this thing attaches together via these 6 posts and this rectangular post. This surface and the deck surface mate. So that is, if you glue it together or decide to put a screw in it, that is where your screw could go, and the screw will be covered by the detail that goes inside of here. So you could put 2 screws in there, 2 short screws, and hold it together. When I did this, I was planning on putting it all together with screws, but it's so pretty. So anyway, that's on me. That's on me. And if it is made out of, if I can get somebody to do it in, That's one of the things I always loved about the ridiculousness of this, was that it has this like drag racing motor in the front.
Whole Detroit muscle fueling the
and and I really, when I did this, when I first started it, I thought it would be cool to just build an LS6 or LS5 and just put it on the end of it, make it fit the same everything. Just be like, nope, there it is. It's an LS motor powering this baby.
Make the nose like a MIG nose. That's your intake.
Yeah, well, that's what my that's what the model looked like that we made. Mine looked like that. Yeah. And I haven't decided that I won't do a nose piece to replace all of this that makes it look like a snub nose fighter. Just that you snap in the same hole, you would just snap it in and it'd look like a Saber jet.
That's cool.
I'm good with that. The year that we did that at that thing, it showed me so much potential that this body has outside of that. There's all kinds of things that, you and I did very different designs.
Yes. Using
this top and bottom piece from Dave's ABS parts that he did on a vacuum. So it really showed me, what you can do, with something like this. But for now, and I can tell you guys that I'm a rabbit hole guy, and if I did that, I would have 6 versions and none of them would be finished by DFW. So I am focusing solely on this one. I would like to do, for the Starfighter version, a piece that goes over this that looks more like the nozzles on the Buck Rogers Starfighter, just something that looks all smooth and not so retro rockety.
That would be.
And there's nothing against retro rockety, because I feel like that is the charm of this thing. Is it takes multiple pieces of known tech and just fits it together in this thing that really does look like, honestly, it looks like something a guy built in his garage.
It's like a steampunk space fighter.
Yeah.
It's very odd. Like it's futuristic shaped, but all the stuff on the outside looks like it would all be like,
And much like a kamikaze jet fighter or prop fighter, there is no landing gear. So it makes me think that when they sent these out, they really didn't expect any of them to come back.
Yeah. Now we have rockets that don't need landing gear, but then that wasn't even a concept.
That is true. Also, I added this fun little hole in the back. So if you were going to make it look like it was tarped down or tooled down somewhere, like put straps on it or something, you play with that a little bit. I really didn't change a lot else. This design is designed to work with classified scale missiles that Hasbro already does. Oh, nice. I'm going to make missiles for this and a different set for the Starfighter. Nice. But you could technically, if it clears, you could stick Stinger missiles on it, or the missiles off the Dragonfly, or the Rattler. So
that's funny. They still use the barbell shape for missile posts. I think that's funny.
In 1/12 scale, you have the risk of warping, so they do put the hole in the middle of the larger diameter pieces. We'll see. I got one of these is printing downstairs. This is a funny story, right? About how the Max has its own. It does what it wants. Okay. And what it wants, evidently, is to never build a print in the time that it says when you first start the print. It really likes to, just in the middle of it, add 4 hours to the print.
Oh, okay. So it had a previous work history in concrete, is what you're telling me.
Yes, very much so. So what it did was put this print on last night. I had these new thrusters on it and a properly scaled bottom, which after I started printing it, I realized that wasn't going to fit the thing that I have here that is printed that way. That's okay. So I looked at it and said, hey, 12 hours, 46 minutes. I said, well, shit, that'll be done. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll clean it and get it ready to go. And then I can show the whole model and test fit see if my measuring is as good as I want it to be. But I went in there this morning at 6 o'clock and it still had 6 hours left. So apparently it decided that it needed a little more time. But I went and I opened the lid, I checked it out. The thrusters printed really nice. And so far this looks like it's going to print without any holes in the wings or anything. That would be nice. But I'm not going to be able to print 20 of them, I don't think, unless I have to. I really want to do this on a filament printer because they can use red. Because most of those guys have a really good red. I know Travis's Night Raven last year that he had, the red that he used in the landing or in the body of it, the thrusters on it was a perfect red.
It's almost got like a little metallic to it too. It's kind of
it's a really cool looking red. I don't have a piece in here, but yeah. So this is it. This is what we got. I'm gonna throw the cockpit back in it. I'll talk about it a little bit. So there will be a seat in here, obviously, but I just needed to get everything to know what my parameters were to make what goes on the inside. Like I say, what we're going to do with the cockpit, and then there will be 2 panels that come out to about right here, and there will be 2 joysticks, one on each side. And that way you don't, he's going to be in a very prone position. Even though this is laid back, he actually sets more at this angle. So it's really difficult, especially with 1/12 scale figures, because even with butterfly joints, you may be able to get them to hold a gun, but to hold a stick between their legs, that's just not worth the difficulty. So yeah, there'll be a lot more detail here. You'll have this panel here, and it will that will be an add-in piece most likely. I'll probably put a shelf in here, and then I'll have a piece that you can glue on that has the thruster, or has, you can put the joysticks in. It'll have some little buttons and stuff on it, and you can paint them separately and glue them in. That way you can paint this whole cockpit black or dark gray, whatever you want it to be, and then you can paint your detail parts outside of it and plug them in. I haven't decided. I would really like to do that with the seat. I would love for the seat to just be a piece that you could pull out and paint it. I think that would be awesome, especially if you wanted to do like to match this sweet engine, to put some seat with some flames on it or something, Or if you're into like the Ed Hardy look, you could put like some fancy stitching in the seats with your brush. That's up to you. Or you could just paint the seat whatever color you're going with the outside, or something that accents it, But I would like for this to be something that you can pop the pieces in and paint outside, just because I've done enough of these over the years. Like even when you're doing a custom of the original Starfighter or the Stiletto, it is very difficult to paint all the details inside. Dave had to design it so it would pull out of a mold. So even though you have a cockpit that's shaped like this, the instruments stick out here and they don't even face the pilot really, because his head is so low, you wouldn't even really see the instruments. So we'll be able to take Dave's design and put it on here. So that'll be cool. I'm excited to do that. There'll be a little room up here. We'll probably on one side put like a manual release for the cockpit handle. It'll just be molded into this body. A couple things like that. Just something up here to fill this space, because that piece will have a heads-up display in the middle and then some instruments all over the place here. I will, let's see if I can show you guys that. Yeah, hold up here. This is I'm going to share this. This is Dave's original first model, I believe, of what he wanted the instruments to look like. Screen. Here we go. Yeah. If you've done anything with the Stiletto, you know that the instruments did not look anything like this. But my goal is to take this whole panel and put this on the on the stiletto, just as an homage to what Dave originally intended for this thing to have. I won't be able to do everything Dave originally intended. Eventually, there will be a longer nose, that engine piece. I will show you guys this. I think this shows it really well. Dave's original drawing, man, the nose was super long in between the and here on his original model, you see how long that is.
I see where that got the stiletto name for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Probably somewhere between stiletto and mosquito, you know. But you see, Dave, like, these didn't go over the top. This is, I think this is a much prettier, better design if you're going to have the hoses exposed. But that's all right. You know, they did what they had to do to get it into manufacturing and to make everything to where they could, you know, you would have to have a secondary operation to pull these from the side on the mold, and they probably didn't want to mess with that. They probably had a very, this plane fit a very specific size and cost requirement. So when you do that, there's a ton of things. You may build this styrene model looking like this and looking all cool, and they're like, okay, this has to fit in the box, and this is about, you know, an inch too long. So snap that off. They probably, I have another picture of the final model where Dave had made all the changes, and you can tell that there was some of that going on, which is, you know, that's just how it is. I mean, that's part of it. It's one thing to, the nice thing about those of us that are doing 3D prints, we can, you know, we don't care about negative drafts. We don't care about if something that would take an extra couple of mold. We're not doing that. We just need it to be able to print on the printer. So that gives us all this. So this plane, the stiletto that I've put together, there is no way this thing could go into production like it is. I did not do extra drafts anywhere. This was never intended to be a production model, so everything is just as clean and clear as I could make it. That's the benefit of being a modeler for 3D printing, you know, is you can do all that. And I would expect that as the technology increases and we get better at it, the possibility of replacing manufacturing with 3D printing will be more and more clear. I feel like every month I see things happening that make me feel like it's going to move that way to, you know, eventually. Yeah, so, you know, that I just feel like that's probably what's going to happen. And, you know, just imagine like, okay, I'm going to pay my engineers and designers to build this thing totally out, ready to print. No molds. I don't have to buy molds. This thing's ready to print. And then you got a couple of thousand printer machines that you can just press a button and all of them get the same file, and all of them are print all day long. So doing a run of 200 isn't any more, you know, it isn't any more expensive if you're paying for time on the machine, but you're not worried about mold cycles and having to replace molds because they've been in circulation too long. You don't do that. You just have to maintain the machines. And yeah, anybody that has machines knows that maintenance isn't free. You still have lots of work you got to do, but it's very possible. And I only say that because I'm working on a job right now that is supposed to be production ready. So everything I do on that, everything I designed for Grindstone Toys, the call sign longbow, anything I work with the Skeletron guys on, all of that I model in a way that it would pull out of a mold. So drafted sides, even something that's small, you want to go ahead and put a little draft on it so it doesn't stick in the mold. So, you know, so for designers, it's even easier to design for 3D print, you know, just because you don't have to draft every wall. If you want this to be a perfect square that's, you know, 90 degrees, that's what it's going to be. In a mold, you got to put a draft on all the sides of it. That's why, you know, even something like I was showing the missile pegs, right? Like that seems like that should just be two straight cylinders with a line, but for production it can't
Conical.
be. Those two cylinders have to have a little bit of draft, so they'll always pull out of the mold. That's another reason why they put the hole in the classified one, because it reduces the chance of, I can't remember the term for it, but what happens is there is a cavity in the mold, and it is in between, it's stuck in an area, and so it creates a vacuum, and it'll hold the part in place. And it even happens in 20, 25 foot fiberglass molds. You'll have it'll cause a vacuum, and then you have to somehow get something in there or put a relief valve in it, some way to get rid of that vacuum. It's just another complication of molds. And molds have been something for hundreds of years in one way or another. So you do expect that someday, just like with any other process or technology, that's going to go away, right? So this is the way. This is how it will go away, is being able to print parts faster, prettier, coming right off the printer, have a process. I can imagine like machines, robots going in and pulling parts off of a 3D. Once you set it just goes through and scrapes all the stuff off, run it through a washer, runs through a cure station. Why not? It could happen.
Sure. There you go.
Thank you, Max. I appreciate it. So that's what I've been working on. I have briefly talked to GI Customs about what happens after DFW with the model. I had told him, like, hey, let me get it done first before I start, making any big plans. I still have issues with that, with handing something off. I am really proud of it. It does look really good. I did want to show you guys one other thing about about how this thing works. So let me get a right hand view. We'll put the cap back on it. Okay. So here's you see the silhouette there of the tail fin. So when the tail fin is up, this is all one plane right here. So very much like the original. Most people don't realize the original, there's little teeth here, and those teeth are to help keep it from tipping over. So we'll have a stop in here that will keep this thing from going all the way over. But yeah, so this is how it lands. Is this longer than the original? Yes, it is, because I love the Rocketeer, and that just looks cool as shit. So
it's understandable.
This is a little longer here than the OG. The OG I think goes about right here, and it's rounded off, really rounded off. Obviously, this I really want that if somebody did get mad at a show and they had one of these in their hand, they could actually use this thing as a stiletto. And you could probably stick that right in someone's eye. Accidentally, of course. Accidentally. No one would want you to do that on purpose. Oh. But I did want to show that is a feature that I really wanted to make sure that it worked. So that everything works as intended. Everything is designed to keep going, right? So I forgot to share that. I was really proud of that the other day when I got that to mechanically work. Because I was trying to figure out why the hinges were the way they were. And I think, again, they decided to put some fancy hinges in there. And then because they had this little piece they were going to glue in the top. There is still a gap. I was not able to get that gone, but it is very, very small. And I may be able to do something about that before it's all over. Let's see. So there's the gap.
You're not showing anything.
Hmm?
You're not
Oh, I'm not showing it. It would help if I shared the screen again, wouldn't it? Ridiculous.
Come on now.
All right, here we go. So here's the gap.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Pretty small, but it does allow everything to work like it's supposed to. So yeah. So that is where we're at on this. This will be, if you go to the DFW thing, it shows. So this is what you're getting for your $90. Is you're going to get this model, this stiletto model, in a little better shape than you see it right now, with a lot more detail, a lot more stuff finished up. But you'll get this, and then we'll get all the parts out of the bags, and we'll work with you to put it together. So far, this thing fits together really nice without gluing it. Obviously, you're going to want to glue it together when you're done detailing it. But I have faith that we'll be able to put it together, and everybody can like hold it, take pictures with their plane or whatever they want to do. Feel pretty good about it. If not, we'll just make sure we have a little bit of some of that seam glue that you can buy from Walmart. We'll squirt a little bit of that in a couple of spots to hold it together, and then later when you get home, you can peel it apart, and that stuff will just peel off. But we'll make it work. I'm really excited. I was hoping to have a little more done on the Star Viper himself, but like I said, my focus has been to get the top and the bottom done so that I can hand those off to somebody else to print some. And that's got to be what I wanted. That's got to be what you do. Ideally, what I'll do is I'll have somebody print me off a set and send them to me so that I can make sure that whatever I do on all the pieces that attach work with what is there. There's obviously, you're going to have, different material, may shrink a little different. We may have some other things. I just want to make sure that my parts fit everyone that you get. So that is that. So we'll have the workshop where you build the stiletto, and then the next day we have a panel, and we're going to talk about projects that are upcoming, and we'll have the Star Viper kits to snap onto a movie Snake Eyes. So if you have a couple of movie Snake Eyes out there that maybe you're using them to hold up the end of a table, maybe you got a table leg that's too short and you just popped a foot off and stuck it under there. Pull that foot out, put him together, and let's make it a Star Viper. Is it totally accurate? No. But it'll look cool as shit in the cockpit.
He's probably too muscular, honestly, for Star Viper, because he looks pretty gross, really.
Yeah. So there's that. So, but we can talk about the what all we are going to have. Just
yeah.
What all we will have on hand. We will have. Well, we'll go with the classics. Let me just remind everybody what the classic stuff is.
Go through the OGs.
So we will have our Action Assault Trooper kits that fit the Duke or Flint body. They are upgraded a little bit. The rifle has been scaled up a little. I have another change to make the barrel a little stiffer, a little stronger, even though it won't quite be to scale. It'll be a much better setup. The favorite seems to be the silenced version.
Yeah.
Of that. So I think I'll focus on getting the silenced version. I like to make a couple modifications to the silenced version so that it will hold the blast effects from other 1/12 scale figures. Next up is the sci-fi kit. So if you do decide to snag you one of these stilettos and you want to make the 1992-93 Starfighter, if you want to make that, then you're going to want one of these kits for your pilot. This is the exact same build. He is just white, gray, and blue. And I think we'll have one of those examples at the show at DFW, hopefully. I think the Maestro is going to paint one up in the second colors. So we'll have that. We have the accessory kits to have, we have a few of those with the beret and the extra parts to make it a commander. And then we will have the Zukov Zippo, which is the Dragonsky kit. I have these on here, and we may have a couple of these, but what we're going to have is the V2 version, which is, you guys, if you watch the show regularly, you are familiar with this. It's going to be this version. So this version, not this gun. We will be selling this gun and the Duke gun. I'll go over that later. But this version has some different gauntlets. It won't need the hoses. We're going to obsolete the hoses for the V2. We're going to make this thing more streamlined and slick. This new chest piece that has more places for these lights that are kind of everywhere on this thing. You can use it for lights or vents or whatever, but it's a theme that goes through it. And you will have these new super slick boots with more of those lights on them, which also means this piece is slightly different too. So that's going to be the changes to the Astro suit. Will be the Mark, I think we call that one a Mark 5. So this will be the Mark 6, I think. But this is the newest iteration of it until we do something different. But this is a slick. So if you guys did not get in on an original Astro suit this year, this is the one that's going to be making its rounds. I will probably, this does have the wingsuit. So this will have the wing pack available. It won't come with it, but there is some changes to the backpack setup that everybody's going to love, where you can kind of change how you want to mount everything. So you'll have the tanks. You can put on double tanks, which will have obviously the Deep Six kit has those, a different chest piece. I think that because Deep Six is coming out, that's not going to be as necessary, but we'll probably have a couple of the Deep Six chest pieces. And the Deep Six backpack has 2 tanks. So I want to make a way for the old backpack to still be cool. And if you want to put like extra pouches or medic packs or something on there, not a lot of changes. I don't want to go full Marauder on it. I just want to have a couple of different things you can do. So also this year we will have the new Recon Ranger, which again, if you see the show, you know what this is. So this kit will come with this. You'll get 2 of these rifles, 2 of these fancy rifles. One's a little longer in case you're, in case you're a carbine guy. You can use this one. This is the shorter version. Mikey's kit used a longer version. We will have some arm pieces. This is designed to fit on the Dusty body, which is still very much available for way less than $20. I think Amazon, I saw my Amazon seller had them for 15 something the other day. So the Dusty body, and if you did buy Dusty bodies to build your troops, you'll have those. So you get this new helmet, you get this new chest piece, you get greaves, knee pads, and gauntlets. Sorry, they won't be exactly the same as the. Won't be the same as the Action Assault gauntlets, but they'll be similar. Similar enough that these guys could operate in the same world as those guys.
Nice.
We probably will not, because this is a more organic armor that's more for ground combat. We probably will not have new side holsters and stuff. That's going to be up to you if you even want to use them. We will have a belt. I don't know if it'll be straight up a Duke belt, but it'll have a belt set up. Also, the back frame will be the same as the Astro suit. So that way, any packs that we have for the Astro suit would work on this arm.
Nice.
This armor doesn't fit as perfectly as the Astro suit armor because it's just a different style and it takes a few different things to make it fit the Dusty body. But as you see, it's pretty cool.
It fits pretty damn good.
Yeah, and it looks great. There's a lot to this, but this is the helmet. Well, it'd be pretty similar to this. I made a couple of changes to it. These were shockwave greaves. I don't remember. Mikey, did you have which armbands did you have on yours?
I use the spacesuit ones.
Okay. And those look pretty cool. If I don't, yeah, I wonder if we could use those.
Those are good, but you'll have to scale them up to go over the sleeves.
That's what I'm thinking. So I really thought what I was thinking was the Action Assault greaves, but instead of them going all the way around, they're cut off. They're cut off here and just have straps under them. You can slide over. Pretty much this. Well, it doesn't. There's my arrow. This, but with the Action Assault communications array.
Okay.
I'll play with it, and then you and I should probably talk about it and come up with something cool. These were the old Beachhead and Shockwave boots that I snapped on this body. I don't want you guys to have to do that, so we'll make one that goes on the Dusty leg. I have the Dusty model, so I'll probably do a Boolean. I'll make a little peg on there so they fit out far enough to clear the legs, and then the Boolean will allow it to pretty much just snap right into the Dusty laces. You just glue them on.
Popular this morning.
Do what?
I said you're popular this morning.
Am I?
Well, yeah, I keep hearing your phone vibrate.
Oh, it's our semi-regular factory representative.
Oh, good.
Saying that he really doesn't appreciate being pressured at the end of every month to come up with an update.
Yeah, none of us do, but it's called work, bud.
So it's a tough.
All right.
It's a hard knock
job with like updates.
Let's see here. The other thing we'll have that the old gung ho gun from the first wave of classified, made as a projectile firing rifle, which is in that. Let's bring it up again. We'll bring that up. This one.
Max wants to know, is the stiletto going to be available on the website?
Eventually, yes. After Joe Fest. We'll have some for DFW, and then we'll have some for Joe Fest with us. And then once everything is tight and good, then we will go ahead and offer them on the website. The website, I don't know what happened with it. There was this big deal with GoDaddy.com and their internal website system, and it was jacking up orders. It was not sending Mikey and I emails when we had a message or anything. The alert system is stupid. So they took it down. They were doing some adjustments, but when they did the adjustments, a couple of KUK sites did not update to the newest version, and it's still running on the old version. So I got to take some time and go in there. And after Joe Fest, I'll have time to do that. I'll go in there and redo the website to have the Astro suits available, the weapons packs, everything that's not showing right now. But this is the gung ho Mother slug. This will be the. This is the gun. So you see, it's got an actual barrel.
Mother slug is actually asking what that's from. You want to explain what you did there?
Yeah, this is classified gung ho V1. What I did was I took the frame of this gun and made it wider, so it's not such a narrow gun. I made it wider, and then I added a barrel. All right. While I was doing these modifications, I said this on one of our shows a few weeks ago, I learned that the magazine for this gun and Duke's rifle are exactly the same. They just moved them from model to model. So that brings me to the other thing the other rifle that we will be featuring for the first time like this, and that is the Duke rifle. Again, cleaned up the model. Actually, I remodeled all of it except the optics, which I am planning on making a couple changes to those. And then we will have this magazine will fit both guns. So you get your little bag. You'll have these two guns and two guns that I don't want to tell anybody about yet because I'm not happy with them yet. But it'll be like a sci-fi weapons pack. Let's call it that. So you'll get the original classified guns, these two guns with actual barrels that make sense with having a magazine. You'll probably get the classic Astro Suit gun, pistol, the Astro Suit pistol, and the two new guns from the recon set. It'll be a really nice set of just guns with extra magazines and stuff in the bag. You'll get that, and it'll all just be sci-fi related stuff. Basically stuff that a couple of KUKs is making and that we promote on the show. So that's what it's going to be. And like I said, there are two other guns that I hope to have done by then that will also be in this pack of accessories.
Nice. Stacy, what's up? Good morning.
Hey, Stacy. So I'm pretty excited this year, even though we joke about this. We've been joking about this, trying to joke about this because last year was such a disaster. So we've joked about the timeline. And I'm telling you guys, last year, a month before the show, there were things I didn't even know we were going to do or what we were going to do as far as what was going to need to be done for DFW. The Astro Suit development was just out of control, and I was having trouble controlling all of that. So this year I started way earlier. But that's what happens, and it's good. It's good to learn those things because, as recently quoting projects for people, you actually, you got to keep that stuff in mind. I was joking earlier in the show about somebody wanting you to print them apart from a photograph they found on TikTok. Like they took in a video from TikTok and they're like, "Can you print me 3 of these?"
Not without a file.
Yeah, if you get me a 3D file, I can print you 50 of them. So what happens is,
What you think? Caleb, good morning, sir. Mother Slug asks, what is that CAR or M4 carbine suppressor mod? Why is it Arctic? Oh, I think he's talking about that custom and the rifle.
Oh,
this is the classified Duke rifle. That was how it was designed. So he's just added some.
Yeah, it's still not any more useful than say using a 5.56 to fight aliens that shoot spikes at you that could go right through you. It's not that level of ridiculous, but let me pull it up here. Yeah, one of our shows we did a build off, and we were using the NECA Predator armor to build something. So this is what I put together. So he's white, and I was kind of looking at security forces or something. They But we already had the foregrip modeled for the L85. L85. We already had that modeled, so I pulled that in just because it really just looks more spacey. All this is from the original Duke rifle. All this, and I didn't really want to try to stick a barrel out of that because I still wanted it to look like the Duke rifle. This is what I think they could have done if they wanted a space-looking rifle. And for whatever reason, well, I know the reasons now. I didn't know then, but Hasbro was really having a big cry over having guns that look like guns. So that's why that first wave is full of Nerf guns and weird laser emitters, is because Hasbro was worried. I think probably what happened was somebody had seen Small Soldiers like a week before, they'd never seen it before, and then started being concerned about, oh, what if these guys, we need to be serious about what if these figures came to life.
That's what
I'm joking, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was not actually some sort of meeting about that at some point.
Nice. So that's the Hall of Offerings this year.
Well, it's not for Arctic. It is a security force, and they just like to paint their guns white to match their armor. So, I mean, I do understand how guns work, but I was just trying to make it look like Duke's gun if they really tried.
Yep.
Which says more than, say, Outback's gun. But I get you. I just didn't. I was just trying to make what they had work. That's really what I wanted. Because at AR we had just copies of Duke's gun without the crooked barrel.
Right.
Which was
Hendo. What's up, sir?
Hey, Hendo. My comment's locked up again. I love that. But no, there's no question, no problem asking. It was just something fun to use with parts I already had.
Yep. So that's what we've got to offer this year. That's some good stuff.
And we'll have the Thunder helmet kit, which comes with a little modern version. It's funny, just in that many years, like his monocular has been replaced in the Army by something that fits on a rifle.
Yeah, and most of us have on our golf bag.
Yes, very much so. But yeah, so that's why Mother Slug. I was just playing with the sci-fi section of it. I didn't want to put a barrel out there, and I didn't want to extend that big weird looking tank on the bottom all the way out. And I don't really think it'd work as a suppressor with the hole in the side either. So, but basically, I guess it kind of looks like that. It does look like the gun from, what is it? The one with Chris Pratt where they fight those big aliens.
Yeah.
And they give everybody these little ARs.
Yeah.
But you really have to empty an entire clip in to maybe kill it.
Sure.
Then later in the movie, the old man can't kill it with a 50 cal.
So Thunder Kit, gonna have some Cold War submachine guns.
Yeah, we still have those. We still have that set. I don't have I couldn't find this morning. I was looking for my pictures of that I took after AR of all the kits, and I cannot find it. But it's basically an MPK and an M12. The Thunder Kit does come with the M12, the Beretta M12.
The Thunder Kit comes with the Beretta. Okay.
Yeah, that way you could get the Thunder Kit and throw it on your Alpine to make him right. And I just wanted to do an MPK. Sure. We have one in the call sign longbow line. I love that gun. So It really was just
And
wanted
is
to do.
only an MPK, or did you also do an MPL?
I just did a K. Did a K. I did just did the shorty, and it doesn't have a stock on it, so it's very.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. There's I feel like we're missing an accessory that you've done.
We have. Okay, I was trying to find the price list from AR. Let's see, the Thunder kit. We had that Cold War weapon set, which is just 2 guns. Oh, we had Duke shin guards without anything, where you could just mount them to anything.
Right.
We did have those. We'll bring a couple of those things. Probably the next show, I will have the full layout of everything that we'll be taking, what is included in each kit, to go over all of that.
So next show is the 10th, May 10th.
Oh. Yeah, well, we got to talk about that show. That date.
All right. And then we will have one last one before DFW. We'll have the 24th.
Okay.
So 2 more shows before DFW, because May is over 4 week. It's a nice full month for us.
Yes, thankfully.
Yes, agreed.
I can't argue with that. That's definitely true. Yeah. Let's see what's we got here. Take the catches. What's the purple guy to the side of your Robotech? Oh, this guy. This is it's still Robotech. I put the purple one over there because it shows up a little nicer than the darker variant. There's a little darker gray purple. And even the Terminators, these are two different versions of the Terminators. The Matchbox version and the original one from Harmony Gold. There are probably 20 paint variants of this thing, but let's get them lined up here. There we go. You see that they're just slightly different colors, and they changed the gun design. Matchbox changed the gun design. I love this figure. They're terrible in the animated series. They look terrible, but when I first got this figure, I just thought it was the coolest thing. And then I have the rider too. And just a little extra for my shelf back there. Make fun discussion pieces on this. This was when I was a kid. Like, I didn't get a lot of the normal name brand stuff for Christmas and birthdays and stuff. We went to back then it was a half price store that became Gordman's, and that's where like I got my General Patch stuff, and that stuff was always super cheap. That's where I got most of my 18 stuff. So that's why. So Robotech stuff would pop up pretty regularly. So I would just snag whatever I could when I could. I agree. Let's see here. Like I say, my comments are all locked up again. That is so frustrating. I don't know what causes that.
I don't either.
But the Recon Ranger will be that'll be our kind of main focus this year, just on the new kit, because it's finally a way to use the dusty bodies. If you bought them for the other kits, then you've had a few waiting for us to do something, and this just gives us a way to, and it is still one of the cheaper figures to find. Mikey did one. His was blue. Mine was red. It just turned out that way. So you can take that body and do so much with it. It's not the greatest body they've made, but it works very good for a base BDU.
Base infantry.
And like I said, you can still get them for less than $16.
Yep.
And that's
I've got some. I'll probably bring a few because I have several. So
I think I've got a couple too. We'll probably bring a few dusties. So we'll do with those what we did with the build kit for the Action Assault. We still have a few of those left, which comes with either a Flint or a Duke body and some of the extra parts that you need to build that kit. We'll have a few of those. So we may for this kit, we may just have dusty bodies there that you can get from us if you don't have one or you don't have an extra one. But we do have several, so because we stockpiled the crap out of them to fill in our kits.
We did.
So that is, I think that's everything. I don't know if there's any new comments or not, but it says new comments, but every time I press it, it just highlights another different chat.
No, this hasn't updated. It's pretty much the same. No, I guess that's it.
Now I did, somebody said here talking about the Robotech stuff is cool. There's somebody doing like 1/12, I think, scale versions of some of them, and one of them is the Zatriati, I think is what you call them, the pilots, because they're big, but they're doing it like in 8 different color schemes from all the different versions of it shows them on the cartoons, different characters and stuff. But there are those $50-$60 range that I just look at and say that is really cool, and then move on with my life. But yeah, that's this figure right here. This guy.
Wacky.
Kooky. But yeah, they have these now in this larger scale. This is the one I would want. The green one's okay too, but they have like a green one and a brown one. They have all kinds of characters, and those I believe they intended to pilot these next. So I really think that at some point here, someone will make these in 1/12 scale. Honestly, they should, but I would think that the market for those would be even less than what we find on the G.I. Joe line. In all honesty, I love it. For me, I'd like to make one and build it, but spending 100, 200 hours on something that's just going to sit on my shelf isn't.
Yeah.
But I do love that stuff. Now, you are working on some stuff for DFW, yeah? Some customs.
I am. A whole team of customs that I've got. So all of this and all of this is all Action Force, Z-Force, Palatoy classified versions. There's still.
Will you be working on those? Will you be working on those Wednesday night?
Probably. Those I might have finished before Wednesday night, but I might be working on the other 2 that aren't on that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So here in this list, or this batch, is jammer, sapper, and scout. And skip, the dock, and wheels. And then Gaucho. I have Gaucho over here.
Awesome.
So there's
no mother slug. You are not alone. Every time I see that, I think it's a Wheaties box too. It reminds me of it.
181. It does look like a Wheaties box. Yeah. So I've got those. There's 2 more I've got to do on top of that, and then I'm going to try to finish up a bunch of heads to bring those to DFW. And that is my plan.
Awesome.
So that's what I got.
That's cool. So we'll have a pretty good selection of stuff at that show.
Yes.
Let's see. I think that pretty much covers most of everything. As I start weeding down what needs to be finished and everything else, then we'll have way better updates on what we will have, because we'll know for sure what we will have and what we won't have done. But it looks like we'll be able to fill up the shelves for sure.
Definitely.
And like we did at AR, we'll probably just take 10 or 12 of each kit, so we won't have a ton of the inventory to be carrying around. And then, like I say, we'll have stilettos, however many we can get built by that time. We'll have enough for the class or the workshop. And I don't know if I mentioned it, that workshop is $90, but you get this entire kit for that. Whatever is built at that time is what you will get for it. So that's what you get for $90. When I sell them, they'll probably be more than that. And if I sell them or somebody else sells them, I am sure they will be more than $90. So
for sure.
So there you go.
Hasbro doesn't even give you a vehicle for $90 anymore.
No, and it is. Now I'm partial, but it's a little sweeter ride than the Despoiler.
It doesn't take a lot.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
It's a pretty low bar.
That's a good point. I'm never going to understand how a Despoiler is worth more than a Stinger.
Me neither, dude. Me neither.
That just makes zero sense to me. You puke out an alt striker, half-ass it, have it at the price point it is, and then the Despoiler's over $100
with no moving parts.
Yeah, it's a brick with a couple of wings on it.
Wild stuff.
It is wild stuff.
The spoiler is poop. That's Canaan. It's poop.
Yes.
It's true. Greg's got his class ticket. He's ready to go. He is ready to go.
Good deal, Greg. And let's Greg, if you're coming to that, let's you and me take some time and talk about some large scale Robotech stuff. Let's pick something that we think everybody would like, and we'll kind of test that, see what happens.
Yeah, do that. So,
all right. What else we got going on? That's like pretty good.
That's it. That's a big update.
Yeah, a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, and I have generally focused on getting this thing ready. I know it doesn't look like it, but when you're kind of building it a piece at a time and you still want to keep the overall shape, still want to keep everything right. So now all the parts are scaled to the proper scale. When I first printed this thing, you guys, I printed it 1-to-1 of what I modeled, and the cockpit was this long. And like when I put the guy in it, he like swam around in there. I was like, okay, holy shit, this thing. I couldn't even print that cockpit on my printer as one piece. I had to split it and put pegs on it so that I could put
It's
it
like
together.
1/8 scale.
Yeah, it's huge. It is. Yeah, you could easily put a Mego figure in there with all this crap on him. This, you guys can't see him, but there's a guy up on the top there by my Wampa that was from the 70s. A figure, I think it's around 10 inches tall. He would fit in it, which it would actually look pretty cool with him in it. But that's that, right? And it's just part of it, especially when you're working from a cheesy blueprint. You're trying to you got the real piece here, and it's way too small, and you got your piece you're putting on the screen, and you kind of lose track of the scale. But I tried to model everything to that large scale so it would all shrink the same. So any radiuses on the edges are the exact same, even if it gets scaled down. And that stuff is sometimes that's difficult to do. But it's working out. I'm pretty happy with the progress, and I hope to see some of you guys at that workshop. We got 15 seats.
Don't know how many we still have, but
yeah, the last I knew we sold 3, but that was 2 weeks ago. So that's, I mean, obviously we're still going to do it. It's going to be it's going to be a blast to hang out with everybody and just kind of put this thing together.
Well, like Greg said when we had dinner with him 2 weeks ago, he said a lot of the ticket sales are like the night before for that stuff. So,
and it will help. Once I have a complete model, I will put that on like in the comments section for that workshop, so that everybody sees that, okay, yes, that is what I'm getting. Right? That's a big difference between, at that time I just had kind of the basic plane built in Onshape in the CAD program. So now it actually feels like a real thing.
Honestly, I mean, you get a couple of pictures of a full printed one with classified figures next to it, write a little blurb. He'll probably make a whole post about it. I guarantee that'll boost.
Yeah, that's probably what I ought to do, is have Greg do an update
to that, just for that class, just specifically that class. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, just for the workshop. So yeah, that's what's going on. That is, I am very happy with what we've got right now. I got, I don't know, a couple of weeks, partial days to get it finished up, but at least I know right now it's on schedule. As long as we can get the parts built, I may have to farm that out to 2 different printers, 2 different guys that can print, to get all 20, because we want to have 20 done. So if it does fill up and 15 people are there, you could still come to the workshop, not pay the $90 and not get a ship if we fill up. And then we could buy a ship from us, or if we have enough, we'll have you pay Greg the $90, go through that process. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to fill up. I don't know if there's 15 people that really want to. I like as Kane was talking about earlier about the despoiler. Like I think we're kind of getting to the point where we're getting a little soured by what Hasbro is doing at the price range they're doing it at. So maybe we can get, it's just one of those things. I just, Mother's made a comment about it too. It's crazy. I don't understand it. But I am, in the past, I've famously underpriced things and they don't move anyway. I don't know. $90 will also get you an Astro suit. So, yeah, you get a full plane, or you can get a suit for a 1/12 figure. The Astro suit, just to remind everybody, fits on the Destro body. Fits very well on the Destro body. After this version, I don't know how many updates we'll do. I may do something that you could, without the tabs, to fit on the Destro for the chest, so you can put it on anything. It really doesn't take a lot to cut those tabs off, to grind those off with the Dremel and make it fit on. Mikey had one fit on a Snowjaw body for the chest piece. So there's ways around it.
It does fit. It fits really well. It fits really well.
Yeah, it's it's a nice
bulky
heavy
body,
piece,
so it's really snug. I mean, it's on there,
which is great if you're building one. Then you don't have to worry about padding it out with a piece of foam or any of that. It's just going to snap on the body, put a little tack on it, and it'll stay. So there's that.
Yep.
But the Astro suit, the new version, will be available. It'll still have the holes in the backpack if you did want to cord it, but it's not necessary. And this way, it gives you a way to, if you have barbecue bodies, the new version allows you to not need the cords, which is what that the picture that I showed earlier, that used a barbecue body with barbecue arms, and I changed out the arms for some Destro lower arms. But then you could just paint you could just paint up the barbecue gauntlets that are on the figure.
Yeah.
So there's that. I think my favorite body to do stuff on really is the tripwire body.
It's great.
I love it. And I love it for customizer reasons because it doesn't have ridiculous bagginess or anything like that. It's a pretty trim design that you can fit. You can fit different pieces over the thighs and all of that.
Yep. And
then next show we'll be able to show the Star Viper kit and what it does. So, and we'll talk about that a little bit and how it works with everything on that Snake Eyes body. It's not the best body. The thighs are terrible for this, but it's a great way to use this body, and we're going to make it seem like feel like it works as a Star Viper, just like it is.
Good use of a clearance body. That's what it's all about. So
future projects, I'd really like to use up some Scarlet movie figures. That's a body that I think that sculpt is a little underrated because it's part of the movie. But if you take it out of the movie and just think like, okay, I'm gonna make like a sci-fi semi-tactical female, that is
it's a good body. I used a couple to do Don Moreno customs. It's a fine body. It's associated to a garbage movie.
Yeah, and that's a problem. But again, it's unfortunately I see that she is the one that goes on the deep clearance the least.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw one in the wild.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't stay at Ollie's. Even those didn't stay at Ollie's.
Yeah.
Eternals are eternal.
For sure. So we'll but as we keep going with this, as we keep developing our show and our site, we'll try to maybe have a little more power to get some of that stuff for cheap so that we can offer some stuff, offer some of those bodies on the website as a resale type thing. Take them out of the package, put them in a bag, and put them with your kit, and that way you can build whatever we have.
Right.
And we can still fit them in a nice, decent sized box that isn't $18 to ship.
Right.
Yet. This year isn't over. I don't think USPS is probably not done raising prices. They even hit private ship. I saw they had to raise their prices a little bit.
Yep. They emailed me about it. He's like, nothing you can do. Gotta do it.
Got to do it. So that's how government-sponsored shipping works. Then I'm sure government-sponsored grocery stores will be a hit.
Oh, it'll be great. It'll be great. And we just do what the Soviets did. They had really good success with that. So
they really did.
We'll just do that.
So
people in China always talk about how readily available things are and how cushy life is.
Yeah.
Well, they would if they could, access communication devices. Well, I suppose that pretty much covers everything up. That's pretty good update, y'all.
yeah, I hope that you guys are encouraged by that. I hope you see that is coming along nicely, and that we're going to have a great show at DFW. Our booth is going to be, is it kicking? I don't know what people say now.
Kicking?
I don't know if it's. I think fire's gone. I think fire's outdated.
Fire's no good.
So there's somebody in the chat can help me out there.
Slap. Our booth is gonna slap.
The slap. I even think that's.
I think it's dead. I think it's dead.
God, you sound like a boomer.
Yeah.
I'm using that old talk.
That's right. Yeah, I am a boomer.
Apparently, I am too.
Yeah, we're all boomers. We're all boomers.
Everybody's a boomer that was born before Generation Z.
Probably even some Gen Zs, honestly.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Okay. I really think that's it. I did just on a side note, Toy Connections, Ken Po, he's doing some really cool deep dives into unproduced Hasbro stuff. He's going to be having some videos come out. Talked to some of the guys at Joe Declassify. He's got a show with them coming out talking about, I think that one's out, with the Eco Warriors, some of the unproduced stuff from that line. My partner Troy did a show about the unproduced train and what it was based on, and he talked about that. And then I recorded one with him to talk about the unproduced Alpine Trooper that was before Alpine came out. What ended up happening to his parts. The figure never got made, but they'd already made the sculpts, so they used those parts on something else. And we talk about that on that show. I'm not sure. I haven't heard a date yet, but I've seen the pre-reel for it. It's pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
Yes.
I think Shannon, you too.
Oh, thank you, Zakanin. I appreciate you doing that. I was on my way to. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks for using your wrench for good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Ken's good dude. Definitely a channel worth checking out. Very informative.
Ken's ties to the industry. He is the co-owner, I believe, of Delta 17, 3 3/4 O-ring action figures. So yep. He has he's I don't want to say he's new, but he's new to this history of G.I. Joe. So his videos really are a great jumping point for somebody that hasn't been involved in 3 3/4 O-ring figures for the last 20 or 30 years. He's learning as he's teaching everyone else, and as he's trying to find out the true stories behind some of this stuff. And that makes it fun. That makes it a lot easier as a jumping on point if you were curious about O-rings. Ken is very passionate about it, which is fun for some of us that collected O-rings for years from the beginning. It's fun for us to see somebody, that doesn't know all that stuff because they haven't sat in all the conventions we've sat in together and, sat at night at the bar after a convention talking about the history of, some unproduced item and who owns all the prototypes and all that. And so if you're not one of those guys and haven't been involved in that, Ken gives you Toy Connections is a great opportunity to get on board if you're trying to learn about O-rings without getting completely overwhelmed with all of it, because it's really easy. You go to the Declassified booth and you're like, oh my God, look at that. The Toy Connections videos allow you to kind of, one episode at a time, kind of learn a little bit about some of the stuff that didn't get made, why it didn't get made, or where it ended up, and it's where it came from. Like the video about the unproduced train was actually from another toy line, a kid's toy line. And many of the parts from that toy line were used for the the prototype, the pictures. And Troy's one of those guys. He liked that when he found out about it, so he kind of became like an expert on that train toy line from the original manufacturer. So, just to try to find all the pieces, to find if he could find out, where everything came from. So Troy did spend a lot of time on that. So he's a expert on the line that predated that and where it came from. And that's kind of fun to find out on some of that stuff. Even the Purdue stuff, when you find out where it was, working on the stiletto and talking to Dave in the past, Dave Kunitz, the designer, talking to him in the past, it's been, it's really cool, like learning, talking to those guys and learning that stuff. This year at DFW, they're also doing a make your own action figure or character.
Yeah.
Instead of the workshop where we build a vehicle, you get to go in there and sit and work with a team of designers and develop a character, a G.I. Joe character that would fit in for the line. And that's what that workshop is. If you're looking and you're not sure how to spend your time or your money at DFW, I'm going to say that any project you can go to, or any workshop especially, where you get to work hand in hand with these guys, is worth every penny. Man, these guys, they're the OGs, man. They were, they were building these things out of styrene and model kits off the shelf, like you see the Star Wars behind the scenes from the early 80s and the late 70s, and those guys are taking little pieces out of a model kit for a tractor, and they just want this one piece out of that whole kit, and that gets glued on somewhere as a greeble or whatever. And you see, that's what they were doing. They were just old school model builders. Some of them still do that today, teach and develop product. So they're not like, they didn't just go camp out somewhere and haven't been involved in anything all this time. So not only are you getting their knowledge of what things were like in the 1980s, but also what they've learned since then. And that is, it's great because they started here and this is where things are today, and they recognize that they've been involved in it all that time, whether it's one of the model builders, one of the designers, or even the people that were developing characters and drawing characters like Mark Pennington, Dave Dorman, those kind of guys that were doing all the art in the later years. So it's cool. It's a fun thing. I think also at the show, Doug Hart will be at DFW. He does he did art later for G.I. Joe in the later years after Garrido left. He did the art. So he did the art for vehicles, the Stargate vehicles that were the G.I. Joe All-Striker that they repainted for the Stargate movie with Kurt Russell. He did the artwork, the paint work for those boxes, for that box art. So he'll be around. He does our call sign Longbow stuff. He does the stuff for Operation Recall. He is he does the O-ring stuff when we do anything O-ring with Grindstone Toys. So that's those the Wolf Trooper figures from Skeletron. So Doug does that art. Again, great guy to sit and talk to. So yeah, there are some great personalities at DFW to meet. Maybe get an autograph, but definitely the cool part is the workshops give you an opportunity to go a little further than just a quick autograph in a line, where you can sit down and actually they will talk to you, and to develop something with you is fun. So it's great. So if you're on the fence about the one of the workshops, I definitely encourage anybody to do that, even if you're not into the O-ring stuff, to hear their points of view of how things were developed back then. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. So definitely,
definitely worth it to do one of those classes and get to rub elbows and talk to those guys, because they're still so passionate about all of that stuff. They will 100% have a conversation about you. You up to Dave and say like, oh man, the Defiant was my favorite toy. He will tell you about the development of it, and tell you about all that stuff. They absolutely love it, and it's cool to see them all together, because it looks exactly like how you would imagine it looked in the 80s when they were doing this stuff together. Like they rib each other a little bit, and you see that they riff off of each other. It's it's really cool, and we don't have that forever, so it's really cool to see it now. But Checkpoint Bravo, appreciate you, man. Hit the like, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate that very much. And Checkpoint Alpha, what's up, sir? How are you? Yeah. So right on. I haven't heard a date when that's coming out about the Alpine Trooper either, or the train actually. But
yeah, they're I think they're the next two.
Yeah, but Ken is also getting ready for shows, because I don't think it'll be a DF. They'll have somebody come into DFW, but it's not Ken. But he will be at Joe Fest, and that's only another month. So I'm sure they are trying to get stuff going just like everybody else.
Right. Yeah, they have product for Delta 17. Delta 17 will have a booth. They'll have somebody manning the booth. It won't be either of the owners, but I always feel like, even though I do work on O-ring stuff a lot of my time, I'm not a gatekeeper. I was talking earlier about Half Price Store. I was buying Galoob figures and Remco figures and Robotech figures, and they played all together. They were all O-rings from different manufacturers, but I played with them together. Sometimes maybe I'd only use the weapon, the gear that it came with. Sometimes the whole figure became a character in my universe. And I think that having that opportunity today is pretty cool. Like, we've got all these O-ring figures that are coming out. Heavy Armor makes the really nice army builders. I think they did a Facebook post where he was wanting to do a Red Shadows Trooper. So I'm good with it. I love it. I love everybody having an opportunity to, and on that note, I love the fact that so many people are learning about Action Force and learning about some of the stuff that Bob Brecken was involved in.
Yes.
Before, the Palatoy stuff. Even the Palatoy story, that book talks about the Kenner, when they were working with Kenner to do Star Wars stuff, and they were like not getting all the information they needed, so they just made up their own stuff. And the cardboard play sets. For many years, people just ignored the cardboard play sets because they thought they were dumb. But I have like the Action Force headquarters, and it's totally cool.
I love the headquarters.
It's totally cool. And they use that same design to make a Death Star playset for Star Wars. It is really cool. And pretty ingenious. Like something that came in a flat box, it wasn't like a great big box you had to have.
Cheap to make, very small, very few pieces that needed to be molded. I mean, it's pretty brilliant. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty
hack of its time for sure.
For sure.
So yeah, that's awesome. So you don't have any more shows coming up, right? It's like you're not doing anything on YouTube or anything like that.
I don't think so. I don't think I have anything.
Okay.
I do know. I talked to Greg again yesterday evening, last night, whatever, about some other things that are going on, and reminded him again that we needed to set a date. That he needed to work with you and Zakanan to get a date to get maybe him and Dan Klingensmith and myself to talk about DFW before the show, and maybe we can get Dave to pop in on that. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure that if you guys still want to do a panel show about that, then we can definitely do that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to do that. So, we'll start that communication thread up and get that lined out before it comes crunch time. So that's it. See what I got coming up. Wednesday, Two Silly Goose presents JMP Custom Works live. You
get a chance to watch Mikey paint all that stuff he just showed you.
Yeah, some of it for sure. So I'll be working on some more DFW projects. Then Friday we've got Quentin J. Bedwell coming on for us. We have not nailed down a topic yet, but we could talk about just about anything with Quentin and find it entertaining for us at least. So that being said, I appreciate all you guys watching, hanging with us this morning. Legend Series starting his show up in about 10 minutes over on his channel, on the Legend Series Gaming channel. So check that out. Replay Squad, I appreciate you. Everybody be sure to, like, sub, check out Ken Poe. If you're into history stuff, definitely watch that. Follow the DFW page for updates on the show next month. And yeah, till we see.
And then Joe Fest the next month. So
yeah, the month after that. It's summertime. It's coming. It's happening. Get in it. So appreciate you guys. And till next time, you have a good one. All right. Later.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Eat my short.
Go fuck yourself. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Flush that turd down the drain. Avenge me! Avenge me!
Thank you. Thank you.